Are you sad because you're too skinny? Are you about to do whatever it takes to put on as much muscle as possible? Well, hold on just a second, home slice. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why being skinnier might actually be better. But you gotta focus. So first and foremost, a heavier individual, regardless if it's fat or muscle, is going to require more energy per each movement. So by being skinnier, you are therefore more efficient than your imaginary 40 pounds of lean muscle heavier self. Tell him to step off. Number 2, it doesn't matter if it's fat or if it's muscle. Joints don't necessarily grow at the same rate as muscles do, if at all. Thus, you are going to be putting more weight on those same dinky little joints, which a lot of people at a young age are like, oh, I'm gonna get old, I'm just gonna get arthritis anyways, but we gotta live fast right now. But it might come on to you quicker than you think, and by the time you're 30, 40, you're still gonna be wanting to live your life, and if you damage yourself beyond a certain extent too early, you're just sacrificing a lot in the future that you're gonna wish you didn't do when you get to that age. I'm gonna take a quick moment to say, hear me out to the end of this video, because it might seem like I'm being so anti-muscular. I'm not. I'm just giving you information, so hear me out to the end of this video, please. Number 3, it's going to be harder to maintain and gain mobility and even move with more muscle mass. Not saying big people can't move. There are some very muscular dudes and chicks out there who can move like bosses. But if we just take any said skinny person, put 40 pounds more muscle on them, it's going to be harder for them to maintain mobility and harder for them to move, unless they were so skinny that they couldn't move at all. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Number 4, this is one that's often overlooked until it's too late, but that is being more muscular can put you at a greater risk for musculoskeletal injury. Because more mass means more inertia, means falling harder, means if you twist something, it's gonna twist harder. You might pull something, it's gonna pull harder, etc., etc. Two versions of the same person. The skinnier person may be at less of a risk for muscular skeletal injury if they are the same athleticism. So just by being muscular and looking strong doesn't mean your body is going to be strong in resistance of injury necessarily. Number 5, and this one's kind of serious and kind of upsetting. Being heavier, regardless if it's muscle or fat, may put you at greater risk for sleep apnea, which is essentially choking on your own throat while you're trying to sleep, which constantly wakes you up during the night. Now this happens to heavier individuals, whether muscular or fat, because of the excess weight on the neck and the upper chest region. In fact, a lot of the heavier bodybuilders out there already know of this problem, and a lot of them have CPAP machines, which are essentially machines that you can wear on your face that help you sleep during the night without waking up from choking. So by being skinnier, you may be a better sleeper. Next, it's less expensive in general to be skinnier. Trying to always put on muscle, trying to eat as much as possible is obviously going to cost you more than it is to be skinny if both individuals are eating similar diets. But on top of that, there's a ton of other issues that could arise from being muscular that could cost money. From medical bills arising from any of the problems I just talked about to plumbing problems causing a complete breakdown of your plumbing system. All right, here's another functional one. Being skinnier makes it easier to maintain and improve cardiovascular endurance. Not only is training going to be easier because it's easier to move, it's going to be easier on the joints, etc., etc. But if you think about it, lungs to body mass ratio, the more lung surface area to body mass you have, for the most part, may be better for maintaining and improving endurance, just because you're not going to have to supply as much oxygen to all the areas of the body as you would if you were a bigger individual. Alright, the next one, to a certain extent, being skinnier might make it easier to be faster, quicker, snappier. Now, I'm not talking about being ultra skinny, frail, and weak here. Essentially, I'm not talking about that for any of these, but having a leaner ratio of muscle to, we can say, height, as regards to someone who might be super bulky, having a lot of muscle, most of the time, the leaner, skinnier individual will be quicker in all planes of movement, as opposed to someone who is super bulky. Now, there are some people who are big out there who are extremely fast. In fact, some of the fastest people in the world are pretty big, pretty muscular, but this gets to a point to where all of a sudden any bigger is just going to probably start to weigh down on these individuals. And also, with all due respect, I am trying to leave out PEDs when comparing skinny to muscular. So we're taking naturally muscular, naturally a little more skinny. Next, being skinnier in general, you may be less likely to have heart problems. If you take the same individual and you put 40 pounds on that individual, even if it's lean muscle mass, their heart has to work harder to supply all of that muscle with blood, oxygen, nutrients, etc. While the body may be able to adapt to this and there may not be any difference, it does seem more likely, but also other problems that we talked about, poor sleep and potentially eating bad food to try to gain that weight, to gain that muscle, may lead to heart problems on top of having all of that extra weight. And this final one, hear me out on this, a skinnier individual may be less likely to suffer from mental depression than someone who is 40 pounds heavier, even if that is with lean muscle mass. The reason I'm depressed is because I'm skinny, man. I'm trying to gain weight. Well, possibly. I'm not going to say this is for everybody, but something I've noticed anecdotally from a lot of my friends and even myself who have tried to gain muscle even while eating clean, even while being a natural athlete, when a certain point is reached, all of a sudden, it's just, it feels too much, and it's just like you have all of this excess weight and something just goes wrong, where it just like there's a depressive feeling to it. And then when you lose like 10 pounds, even if it is some of that hard work muscle that you worked for, all of a sudden you start to feel fresh, free, alive again, and just better in the mind. I'm not saying that by putting on muscle you're gonna get depressed, but I'm saying sometimes it is possible to go through a threshold that can cause you to be mentally more depressed. So sometimes being skinnier, you might be less likely to suffer from this just excess weight, mental depression state. So now you gotta know, am I against putting on muscle? Am I like, you should always just be skinny, it's the healthier way to live, it's more sustainable? Absolutely not. In fact, it's yin and yang, man. I'm telling you, you do one thing, you're gonna get nagged at one way. If you do the other thing, you're gonna get nagged at the other way. I just want you to have all of the information possible so that you can make the best choice for yourself, so that you can do what you actually want to do. And if we look at all 10 of these reasons, something we can learn is maybe being a little more patient on our journey to build muscle can actually be better for our health overall. All of these issues will be amplified if that weight is put on more rapidly. If you want me to make more videos like this one, maybe we can go the other way. 10 reasons why it's better to be more muscular than skinny. More videos coming out, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.